Hello and welcome. This is Aspen Talks Health, and I am Dr. Nicola Siso, and today I am joined with Amy Lynn Johnson. She is one of those people that the minute you meet her, you instantly fall in love. I couldn't adore her more. I knew it from the absolute beginning. She has a bright light that is just, you just radiate. And I was so attracted to you right away. I knew it.
Thank you.
It's true. You just have such a beautiful spirit, and I'm really grateful that you're here to share it with us today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Love to share.
So Amy has an environmental degree, but she turned fashion designer. She decided to follow her heart instead, and I love this story. And your clothing line, KayOss, it's absolutely beautiful clothes and really well designed. So fascinating history you have with a battle with ovarian cancer and Hashimoto's disease. Can you please lead us through your journey and how did it all come about?
Well, first of all, it was never a battle. So I feel that we create everything. And if we do, then we can heal everything, which is great because it gives you so much power from within. So when I was diagnosed, I was a little confused, but I remember my chiropractor always said, if you give your body the right tools, it can heal itself. And that just kept coming up and coming up. So I didn't let the fear come in, and I got all the information surrounding me, and I chose an alternative therapy because it felt the best for me, and choosing what I thought felt good. And so I choose the Gerson therapy to heal.
Well, I definitely want to touch on that, exactly what that meant, but how did it even come about? Do you know what caused, or where were you in your life?
So I studied every angle of it because I feel like your body is a tipping point, and your body's amazing. It can do so much for you. But if it gets overloaded with the stress, with anything else going on in your body, any kind of toxins, environmental toxins right now, everything's really compromised. So our immune systems are compromised, and they're working very hard. But there is a tipping point, and I had that tipping point. So after the diagnosis, I studied everything because I wanted to make sure I changed everything that wasn't working for me in my life, because I love life and I want to be in it. And I was only 42 when I was diagnosed. So I studied, Gerson has you get a holistic dentist to check out your teeth, because a lot of dentists just do the regular x-rays. And so when I did a peripheral x-ray, I found out I had an infection under my tooth that I didn't even know about.
Oh, wow.
And they say most diseases start in the mouth. So I was blown away, and I remember 6 months before that, when I had my teeth cleaned, the hygienist jabbed the gum and blood spurted out. And I didn't know, I never take antibiotics, except Gerson says if you have dental work, you have got to take antibiotics for a week after, because food could get in there and infect it, and that's what happened. And then my tooth died, and I didn't even know it. It wasn't discolored, there was no pain. But when you have something going on, an infection in your body, it's like the house on fire. The entire immune system goes to put the fire out. And so everything else that's been going on in your body that it's been working hard to move out, as far as endometriosis I had, which was manageable, terrible cramps, but and then cysts, which would move out. But once the body has to work on something else, then the body encapsulates where the problem is and starts a tumor. So a tumor is actually a gift for your body's a good thing because it's protecting you, but everybody thinks of tumors as bad. But what it's doing is it's protecting you until it can slow down somewhere else and come back and heal that area. So people have tumors growing and leaving all the time while your body's, working on different things to help you stay balanced and healthy.
Interesting.
So we'll just get really personal. I was considering having a baby. So I saw this billboard, and this is part of intuition guiding you. I saw this big billboard that said fertilitypartnership.org, and it just felt nice that it was partnership. So I was driven to go there, and I got up on the table, and that's how I found it. So I didn't have any symptoms. I'd never felt better in my life. I was healthier than I ever thought. I was already organic and juicing and yoga and everything. There was just other things going on in my body. I was in Peru the year before and got parasites, which didn't clear out with just what they do in the Western medicine industry. And so those were growing in my body. There was, a lot going on that I wasn't even aware of. So it was a good awakening to find that and then I could clean it all up and get aligned.
Beautiful. So tell us about the cleanup job.
So it's I chose it because it's cold pressed juicing, and I love juice. It just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I thought that's all there was because I didn't research it fully. I was just like, yes, I want to heal with juice. And then I realized it was 2 years long. You couldn't leave your home. You couldn't eat outside of your home. You were resting and healing, so you couldn't work out. And I was a huge, talk about peak performance. I was a huge workout person with yoga, running, golf, tennis, you name it. And so that was really hard to just stay home and do nothing. And it involves the juicing, 13 juices a day, all organic, cold pressed, 1 every hour to support your immune system to help it get back in line so it can heal you. And then also, this is a hard one that people have trouble with, is coffee enemas, which are actually really, really good for your body because it helps release the bile to collect the toxins and move them out fast. Otherwise, you might have more healing reactions when the toxins are leaving from your cellular system. So it gets it out fast. And supplements, of course, to support your body. And then 3 big meals a day. Like, you could eat as much food as you wanted. It was beautiful, but it's all whole foods, fruits and vegetables, specific fruits and vegetables, and that's it.
Interesting. That's a lot of juice, 13 a day.
It's a lot of juice. 8 ounces, yes.
Okay, so small.
So small juice,
okay,
8 ounces.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And did they promote wheatgrass as well?
No.
No, interesting.
That was one of the, so it's all about what's easy on the body, right? So if it's not easy to digest, it's going to take a lot of energy to digest, and you need that energy to heal your body. So everything on the list, your body recognizes it, it digests it with low amount of energy, and then it distributes it where you need it. So it knows what everything is because it's in its whole form.
Right.
And wheatgrass, they call it aromatics, things that cause more trouble with digestion. Could be wheatgrass, could be basil. I mean, some surprising things. Certain fruits and vegetables you couldn't eat. Spinach you can only eat cooked because it's a little acidic when it goes into the system. And another deal is balancing the system into an alkaline system.
Yeah.
Because only dis-ease can exist in acidic environments.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
the fruit and vegetables should have helped with getting that balance right back.
Yes, and it's really fascinating because even avocados, you couldn't have the fats because fat slows down the detoxification. It's really fascinating. So no fats. The only fat you could have is a cap of flax oil twice a day.
And this is the Gerson
technique.
Did he allow mild exercise or?
You could do a little yoga and stretching.
Yoga and stretching, walking.
But he doesn't want you like revving up your system and,
Got it. And it took 2 full years before the...
The reason why they do 2 years, it doesn't necessarily know if it takes 2 years, but they want the liver to completely rejuvenate. So what it does is it just completely regrows. So you have like almost like a brand new liver. It's like you're rebirthed. And that way it's clean and it can do its job. And they say it usually takes about... probably 16 to 18 months, but they want to go 24 just to make sure.
So you were already healthy before, to some degree healthy with your diet before. So
my friends would say I was healthier than anybody they knew.
So this wasn't a huge transition for you, or was it?
Well,
yeah.
It was a huge transition because I couldn't work, so I had to shut down my company.
Interesting.
I couldn't leave the house. I'm a huge socializer.
Right.
You can't go out and socialize
Yes,
at all.
you are.
I didn't drink much, but I had a glass of wine every once in a while, 0 alcohol. Studied the water system. I didn't understand fluoride at the time. I didn't understand everything that's in our water. So I had to completely change the house for the watering system. And on Gerson, you don't even drink water. You just drink juice.
Interesting.
Because water is more of, it doesn't really hydrate you. It more washes things out,
Right.
whereas juices hydrate your body.
Yeah.
It was a huge change. And then when you physically detox, you emotionally detox.
Right.
And things come out that you don't even know that's in there.
Interesting.
Yeah, you do. It's a hand in hand. You cannot heal physically without healing emotionally and spiritually. It all just goes hand in hand.
Right, because you store emotions in your organs.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also castor oil. You had castor oil every other day, and that really took the emotions
Really?
out. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It was deep.
Did you have, was it visuals? Did you feel energy moving or what?
A lot of anger, which I didn't know I had because I'm not really an
No,
angry person.
not at
and
all.
I wanted to like punch doors, and I was like, who is this? But that's what your liver, all the anger gets stored in your liver, and yeah, just different things. Like my mother wouldn't visit me on castor oil days.
Really?
Yeah, I needed to be
Fascinating.
alone. Yeah, it's amazing what you discover that you don't know is going on inside.
Wow.
And now it's so you get so clean that it's beautiful because you know when you're a little off, or you know when your body doesn't like something immediately. Because when you were young and the first time you had some alcohol or some coffee, you were like, ugh. I mean, I was. But everybody was doing it, and you just slowly kind of wanted to socialize and get in the culture. And now I know, I know it's your body's telling you,
Yeah.
I don't want this.
Your body actually numbs itself to the toxic effects in order to keep you alive.
Yeah.
Because if you were to consume a significant amount of alcohol every single day and it didn't do that, it would kill you very quickly. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. What were some of did you have any mental practices?
Well, yes. So most of it was just to be still and be quiet. And I started a garden. I grew a garden, and I would stare at the garden growing. It was so amazing. And those 2 years were beautiful. Like, I thought it was going to be the worst 2 years of my life. And it was actually, when I look back on it, it was so beautiful. And so many people from the community showed up and were bringing me vegetables and were changing their own lives, because I was doing a blog and putting it on Facebook, and people that they knew, I'd have random people come up and say thank you so much because they completely changed their lives.
Wow,
Just
that's
from the
beautiful.
information being told, because a lot of it, we don't think about it,
Right.
We don't think about it. We've just become such a process nation, and we want everything to happen fast and quick. And everything is energy and the intention you put into it, right? Whatever you think is. So I had a spiritual practice before, but it got really strong going through this. And then I got into meditation, and then I started to understand how all the signals work, and how the mind works, and the thoughts, and how we're creating everything. And it was pretty beautiful. So every morning now, first thing I wake up, I meditate, get my intention set for the day, do some yoga to get my body moving, and I feel amazing. And if I miss a day, I know it, because I'm just not in the flow.
Right.
My head's not clear, and things are more difficult, and I don't feel all the help, that we all have constantly to guide us on our way.
Is there something that you repeat in your mantras every day to remind yourself of, or how do you get into that flow?
All day. I'm a big I am person.
Good.
Because I am, and then that. So whatever I feel I need more of for that day, that's what I fill that word in with.
Love that.
So it's kind of, because we're different every day. We wake up every day differently. The day is new. When we go to sleep, all energy subsides. When we wake up, the only thing that revs it up is our mind, right?
Yeah.
So if we have a clear head and set our intentions, then we are better on our way.
Very true.
And I always say I'm healthy, because I am.
You are healthy.
Yeah.
Energetically, at least. I mean, I haven't searched you physically. That sounds so funny. But
it did take longer than the 2 years to heal the Hashimoto's. The Hashimoto's took a little bit longer, because it takes a long time to get your body into a dis-ease state. So it takes a while for your body to get back to balance. So I feel like the meditation really helped with Hashimoto's.
You had mentioned to me that you like to wake up at 5 a.m.
Yes.
Why?
That's magic time.
Yes.
It's before everything stirs, and it's really quiet, and it's so clear, and that's the best time to meditate.
Yeah.
You just opens everything up to unlimited possibilities.
Beautiful. It's true. It is a gorgeous time. So what are some other tools? You mentioned meditation. You move your body with yoga, the detoxing with coffee enemas.
Mm-hmm. I still do one a week.
One a week.
And after, I always write, because I'm so clear.
Fascinating.
Yeah, your energy and you're so clear. There's no veil. There's no interference or disturbance.
The toxins. You're taking a poop, no?
You're taking them out. And it's amazing how, like, this was such awe to me, how directly related it is. When you remove something from your body, how much better you feel.
So true. So what in your belief systems has changed?
That's a big one. I believe we can do anything.
Yeah.
And that has expanded. I mean, I get it now. We're in charge of our destiny. And also, I've worked really hard on not holding on to new emotions that are happening, just letting them move through. And I believe everyone can heal themselves. I believe everybody has a light inside that they can shine bright and has special gifts. And if they'll allow themselves and slow down, because the biggest thing is our society has gotten so fast and we're so overstimulated that even if we did know what we want, it's really hard to get clear with that and move towards it because you're always being diverted from it constantly. So I've learned to really clear a lot of that out and be a bulldog about it. You know, like I'm not going to jump on the computer for an hour. You know, 20 minutes is my max. That's supposed to be kind of the magic time where you're on 20 minutes, you get up, you walk around, you move around. If you have to go back, go back. But 20-minute increments for your body to move and also not to stare at a box for more than 20 minutes at a time.
Ha. Tell me more about your current project. I love it. It's practicing your living.
Oh, so I read this book called I read The Untethered Soul, and then he talked about, by Michael Singer, and then he talked about the surrender experiment. And I thought that was really interesting. So I decided to practice it. And I also learned a lot of practice tools through Dr. Joe Dispenza with his meditation and his neuroscientist. And so for the last 2 years, I sold everything and just let go of everything to let go of that cellular memory because, you know, you have memory with everything, just to start clear. And I wanted to be seasonal. So I decided that I love great weather. And so I wanted to be in California in the winter, Colorado in the summer, and then St. Louis spring and fall, which is where my company is, and I do my clothing line. And I only wanted to work in the spring and fall, just bring a line out in spring and fall, and it's enough. And it happened faster than I thought it would.
What is
and
that
I love it
sentence
here.
again?
I'm actually staying here longer than just summer.
I know, I'm so happy.
And I just had my first show here last week.
It's fantastic. It was wonderful.
So I'm practicing living in the unknown, which means you cannot have any ideas about how anything should show up that you want to manifest through your heart. Just put the intentions out there and allow it to show up however it does. And also believe in unlimited possibilities. There's so much available beyond what we know in this, what's stored in our cellular memory, right? In our files. So if you can open that up and just allow it to show up, it's magical.
I totally agree.
And you really have to not make a lot of plans, too, because you can't fill up your days, which I was a huge planner. Like, I feel like the more you plan, the more you got done. If you open up your day and allow it to show up, you'll actually accomplish way more than just being busy.
Huh. Interesting. So it's not having expectations.
Yes.
You can have a little structure, a little
You can have
push.
intentions.
Intention, that's the word.
Intentions.
Uh-huh.
Set your intentions and make sure they're what you truly want. When you set them, take a deep breath. Breathe through your heart, because your mind might get involved and think it wants something else, stimulated by what you already know or outside stimulation by society.
Huh. Okay, and then you release it, and you say...
And you let it go.
I'm open to what shows up.
Let it go. And the more you let it go, the faster it shows up.
I love it.
But it will show up in ways you're just like in awe. You had no idea.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so much more fun.
It's so much more fun. It's like we're in this, I mean, we're supported so much. It's not just us trying to push and drive and make things happen. It's about a collaboration with everything.
Right. And how much comes into play, just crossing paths at the right time.
I know.
And something opens up so magically.
Yeah.
It is incredible if you think about how it's all orchestrated.
It's all intertwined and all orchestrated.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you can step back far enough, you can just watch your movie play.
So you think part of this, all of this kind of releasing, and of course the shift in the diet and the detoxing, that all helped you release the...
Yeah, before the diagnosis, I was on my spirit, I guess, practicing what I knew spiritually, and I just wanted to be as bright a light as I could be.
Yes.
And I feel like that's why this showed up, because I didn't think I was toxic, but everybody has something inside of them. We actually, when we're born, we come in with whatever our parents had. Whatever our parents had, they came in with. And unless you detox it out and do a rebirth mentally, physically, emotionally, you're reacting to things in a way that sometimes you don't even understand because it's in your subconscious and it's just happening. And then you become this person and you think, oh, this is just the way I am. You're only the way you are, the way you want to be, if you really stay in the present moment and choose. But if you use all of what you inherited and learned through family, through where you live, all your surroundings, then you're being molded, not the way you want to be molded, but by everything else.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I've been learning lately that instead of being in the movie, it's almost like you learn to sit back and watch and be the silent observer of even your thoughts and your experiences. If you can shift to that place and kind of, it's almost like you detach. And Eckhart Tolle says it great. It's like you sit in a chair and you're just watching a movie.
Yeah.
And you just let the scene keep changing. One minute you're in your car, and the next minute you're at your office, and you just keep allowing it shift and not being so active. It's hard to do though when you've got bills, you've got kids, how do you maintain that?
Well, then you realize once you start watching it, how you're in charge. I mean, in charge, not in a way that you're making it happen, but you are choosing to get in the car, to drive to work. You chose the wife, you chose the kids, you chose, it's a choice. And once you take responsibility for that and take out whatever you're not enjoying about it, then you can just live in bliss and allow things, because we are in abundance. And when we get in that small mindset about, all those things, those little things we have to do, which is responsibility. You still are going to pay your bills. But if you focus too much negative attention on it, it doesn't allow those bills to maybe be paid in another easier way.
Right. Yeah, what you're saying is also, I've learned it this way, is you shift from have to get to.
That's nice. And also do you want to?
I want to.
Do you want to? So whenever I'm going to do something, I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I need to do this? I kind of go through that whole thing. And then I love to serve. I think serving is the most, we've talked about that, it's the most fulfilling thing there is. So, and I feel like we're all here to serve. Before I serve, though, I always ask myself, does this compromise you? It's a good question. Because if it does, then I don't serve, even though I have the time, I have the availability, I have the resources. But if it's compromising myself, then it's not good for them or me.
Right.
So it's a good question to check in with.
It's true. I think as women especially, we take on more than we can.
Yeah.
Or can is not the right word. We can take on so much, but more than energetically we should, and then we at the sacrifice of our own health.
Well, we're also a doer society.
Right.
From when we're born, we're like do. The more you do, the better you are, the more successful you are, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And actually what I learned at Esalen in April, which was so beautiful, is that all we need to do is hold the light.
Yeah.
And the more you hold the light, the more light surrounds you. And it's really beautiful. And we're meant to be receivers. We don't allow things to happen. We always want to change everything. So, and
that for me, I've noticed comes from defining myself by achievement. And so I feel more worthy and more self-acceptance, self-love as if I'm achieving. And I think that gets installed at a young age.
The one thing I've been working with in my company, because another thing I was working too hard when I was diagnosed. I was stressed because I thought good stress was good. It pushes me through because I was an athlete and you want to push past your limits. You are always in fight or flight mode under stress. Even when you're driving the car, you're in fight or flight mode. You're ready. Your mind's ready in case something happens. You're not relaxing. You may think you're relaxing, but you're on call. And so if you're always in fight or flight mode, your body cannot absorb nutrients. It cannot heal. It's ready to save you, right? So what I've learned is, to slow that down, to allow things to happen. And I was getting a point with this, but it kind of got sidetracked. But yeah, the fight or flight mode is something really another tool to keep an eye on, because when you're in fight or flight mode or when you're in relaxation mode. So when you sit down to eat, look at your food, relax. Some people are running and eating or in the car eating, or, you know, your body's not going to digest and take the nutrients if it has to do all these other activities. It can only do so much.
You taught me that, to stop and just bless the food before you I just go right to shoveling it in my face. It's terrible. But
yeah, and
no, you stop and bless it, and you actually you can feel the energy.
And then being grateful.
Yeah.
Because we become such a habit. Because food is so. I mean, here where we. And you know, it's pretty prevalent and easy to access. There's grocery stores. It's not everywhere in the world, but we just take it for granted. And before we put it in our mouth, you know, be thankful for it. All that grew it, prepared it, and partake in it.
Right, and all the beautiful, delicious.
And then I asked my body to receive it, you know, because everybody's listening. Every cell in your body is listening.
I love that. Oh, I could talk to you for hours. Thank you so much for joining me here. It was such a pleasure. And please, I want people to check out your KayOss line. Oh, you're shifting from chaos to clarity real quick, if you can tell us about that.
Words are very big to me. They have a vibration that you resonate with. And in 1999, I came up with this girl named KayOss because I knew now I know my life needed to mix up. And it was about a girl who was finding her way and keeping calm inside. And in engineering, because I did an environmental engineering degree, they always taught us there's order within chaos. So I really like that. So for 10 years, my business built on that. And now it's kind of shifting because this new word's coming in, which is interesting. It's called clarity.
Love it.
And what's interesting, when I got diagnosed with the ovarian cancer, it was clear cell carcinoma, which is a really aggressive, high-grade cancer. But I was like, clear? Like, that's so interesting because most cancers have this long name you can't even pronounce. So I thought that is such an interesting name. So I love it because I feel like the journey has made me very clear. And I love the word clarity with a K. And so it's shifting, and I'm working on a book called Chaos to Clarity, just to, you know, I love to share everything I've learned because you're not ready to know until you're ready. But if you are, I want it to be available for people to have.
Oh, I'm sure so many people could learn from what you've learned. Absolutely. I can't wait for your book, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next Aspen Talks Health Show.